If you've spent any time in the Bananafish fandom, you already know this part. The title comes from a J.D. Salinger short story. A Perfect Day for Bananafish, 1948, The New Yorker. Yoshida confirmed it herself. And that's usually where the conversation stops. Case closed, mystery solved, everyone moves on. But here's the question nobody seems to ask. Is that the whole story, or is it just the part that was easiest to find? The title comes from Salinger. The story doesn't. Let's start where everyone starts. A Perfect Day for Bananafish is about a war veteran, Seymour Glass, a man who can't quite fit back into the world after what he's seen. It's quiet, it's devastating, and it ends the way so much post-war American fiction ends, with a door that doesn't open again. Yoshida took that title, and by her own account, that's exactly what she took. The name, the weight it carries, the shadow of a man who never really came home. So, yes, the title is real. The connection is real. But here's the turn. If you go looking for Seymour Glass's plot inside Bananafish, you won't find it. There's no veteran, no beach, no wife making small talk in a hotel room. Yoshida never said the entire story was built from that short story. She only confirmed the name, which means if the title isn't where the story actually comes from, where is it from? Here's where it gets interesting. Yoshida gave an interview, and in it, she said something that almost never gets quoted next to the Salinger connection. She said, basically, Bananafish is Kamui Gaiden. Enemies come one after the other. Kamui Gaiden, a Japanese ninja epic. A lone protagonist running, not from one enemy, but from an endless chain of them, chasing something that looks a lot like freedom and a lot like dignity. That's not American literature. That's not Salinger. That's a shonen manga, a structural DNA that has nothing to do with the New Yorker short story from 1948. And she didn't stop there. Yoshida also pointed to the ending of Ashita Nojo, another manga entirely, as a direct influence on how Bananafish closes. So the title is American. The skeleton, the actual shape of the story, is Japanese. Two completely different countries, two completely different decades, same manga. But we're still not done, because if the skeleton is Japanese, where does the mood come from? The grime, the street-level desperation, that specific sun-bleached, broken-down version of America that Bananafish lives inside, that comes from somewhere else entirely. 1970s American independent film. Midnight Cowboy, New Hollywood, the kind of B-movie grit that was crawling out of American cinema at the time. So now we've got three sources, three countries, 3 decades, 3 completely different mediums. A short story, a ninja manga, and a movie, all fused into one single work. And Yoshida built all 3 of those layers herself, which would already be a wild story on its own. Except there's a 4th layer, and it's not even hers. In 2018, 30 years after the manga began, the Bananafish anime aired. And it had 24 episode titles, literary titles, every single one pulled from American writers. Fans have spent years trying to map those titles back onto Yoshida's original vision. Except Yoshida didn't write them. The anime screenwriter, Hiroshi Seko, did. In an interview, he revealed he pitched 50 candidate titles, all pulled from Lost Generation writers. Hemingway, Fitzgerald, Faulkner, Salinger again, Thomas Wolfe, Zelda Fitzgerald. 50 titles, narrowed down to 24. He even wanted to include Truman Capote, but nothing of his ever fit quite right. So, the layer everyone assumes came from the original author came from a completely different creative mind, 3 decades later, making decisions Yoshida never made. Now, fans still debate how deep those episode titles actually run, whether each one thematically mirrors its episode, or whether the connections are mostly surface level. That debate isn't settled. We're not going to pretend it is. But the layer itself, that's real, and it's the 4th origin, added by someone else decades after the story began. So, where does Bananafish actually come from? Not one place. A short story gave it a name. A ninja manga gave it a shape. American cinema gave it a mood. And a screenwriter, working 30 years later, gave it one more layer nobody asked for. and most fans never even noticed. That's not really a story about one influence hiding behind another. That's a story about how almost nothing is made from just one thing. Every work you love is probably the same. The title comes from Salinger. The story never did.